Of the Gareth Johnston newsletter, and I've had a few requests to help some of my followers, some of my clients, some of my pupils with a little drill, a little exercise and a set of feelings to stop the club working too far under plane or too far behind you in the first stages of the backswing. Now, there's a number of ways you can do this. It's all very coach and player dependent, but there's a couple of ways I like to get people to do this, and it's really about reversing the movement pattern. So first things first, you got to get yourself in good posture. Posture influences plane, and the second thing we need to do is understand that the backswing is a blend of turning the shoulders and hinging the club upwards, and it's the combination of those two elements that gets the club working on good plane. So I've done a couple of very simple lines here, little posture line and a line that is set along with that for my shoulders to rotate around, as you can see here. Now, I'm the kind of player, I don't like to see players tilt their shoulders too steeply in the backswing, and I don't like to see them roll them too flat, and you'll see what I mean by this. So the first thing, I've set this simple T-bar, and a great feeling for you is just to feel that you just tilt forward in posture and then you just rotate around your axis. And as you can see here, if you just look at the line of my shoulders, they are just rotating around my spine naturally. Now, I've overdone the hinge here just for the purpose of the video, but what you'll start to see is the butt end of the golf club, the grip end, work down, while the club head end goes upwards. And it's that movement in harmony with the turn of the shoulders that will help keep the club out in front of you in the backswing and stop it rolling too far under plane. And there's a number of problems that occur from that. If you get the hands or the club too deep in the backswing, you're going to have to fix it on the way down, and it's that motion of fixing it that can cause you to get the club shifting over the top of the plane line. You can get some necky strikes, or if you don't make that move, if you keep that club behind you and deep, as we say, your low point is going to tend to want to be before the golf ball. You're going to get a very, what we call clipped strike, not much compression on the golf ball, and you'll typically have to work the face into a bit of a shut position because the path of the club and the journey that the club is making through impact will be a bit too rightward, and you'll have to shut the face down. So typically speaking, as I said, tilt forward in good posture. Make sure you turn the shoulders around your axis. Like I said, don't tilt them up too steep and don't roll them too flat. Just get the sensation of rotating around the spine angle that you've preset. And then that sensation of the butt end of the club going downwards while the head of the club works up will keep the club out in front in this position. Now, I've got Henrik Stenson doing this, and this is a great example of how this movement pattern is exaggerated. So as he moves the club into his backswing, you'll see that handle goes down, club head goes up, and it's way out in front of him. But note here the turn of his shoulders. So don't get me wrong, he doesn't make a perfect move, but he makes a set of great movements that work for him. And it's not about having this perfect golf swing, but what you'll see is he's rotated around his axis. On the way down, you'll then see that he shallows the club onto wonderful plane whilst just rotating around his spine. So that's a very, very simple way to show you. I wanted to show you him because he does it a little bit overboard, but for those of you that start to work the club too far on the inside on the way back, or don't quite use your wrist properly, the blend of these movements will just help you understand and feel what we're talking about. So let me just take away these lines of his, and you'll see what I mean. Let's just play this through in slow motion. So he winds his shoulders up, he just turns around his axis, handle goes down, club goes up, and then he can shallow it onto plane and just rotate around his axis through impact. There's nothing he needs to fix really, that's in layman's terms. So I've overdone the set position for you to see here. I've kind of loaded the wrist way too early, but still it's an example of how you can turn around your axis and keep the club head out in front of you. Have a great Christmas. I hope Father Christmas brings you everything you've asked for. Thanks for following this year, and look forward to January where we'll release the next set of videos. Happy Christmas.